Welcome to India Business Insights. Here is the latest monthly economic update for November 2024. Stay tuned for the highlights and key developments shaping India's economy. Explore our channel to see our wealth of content, information and analysis on Indian business. In November 2024, India's headline inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index increased to 5.7% compared to 5.6% in October. This rise was primarily driven by persistent food price inflation. India's foreign exchange reserves stood at $657.9 billion in mid-November 2024, marking a marginal decline from the previous month's $675.6 billion. FDI inflows into sectors like renewable energy technology and pharmaceuticals have been strong, reflecting India's growing appeal as an investment destination. India's exports showed modest annualized growth of 1.2% in November 2024, despite challenging global economic conditions marked by weakened demand and geopolitical uncertainties. Agricultural exports experienced steady demand, particularly for rice, spices, and processed foods. Similarly, the spice market showed resilience with pepper, turmeric, and coriander exports to the US and Europe, increasing due to their perceived health benefits. The Indian government has focused on deepening trade relationships with non-traditional partners. The government's PLI schemes across various sectors have significantly contributed to export momentum. For instance, number 1, electronic exports, including mobile phones and semiconductors, reached a new high as global companies like Apple and Samsung expanded their manufacturing bases in India. Number 2, automobile exports have seen growth, particularly in two-wheelers and electric vehicles, driven by demand from African and Southeast Asian markets. Number 3, in renewable energy equipment, India exported solar panels and related components, marking a growing contribution to global green energy markets. In imports, India's crude oil purchases remained substantial due to high energy demand, contributing to the widening trade deficit, which reached $8.3 billion in November 2024. High-frequency indicators like GST collections and e-way bills pointed to sustained economic activity in November 2024, with e-way bills growing by 8.5% year-on-year. The services sectors continued to drive growth, particularly in IT, healthcare, and financial services. The PLI scheme continues to drive investments in high-value manufacturing, boosting production and exports. Meanwhile, rural demand has been subdued due to lower kharif crop output, which may weigh on consumption in the coming months. India's Index of Industrial Production (IIP) registered a growth rate of 3.8% in November 2024, reflecting resilience in core industries amid global headwinds. This growth was driven by robust activity in the mining and electricity sectors, which expanded by 4.2% and 6.1% respectively. The electronics sector benefited from increased exports of smartphones and semiconductors, with companies like Apple and Samsung ramping up production facilities in India. Similarly, the automobile industry saw robust growth in electric vehicle production, supported by rising domestic and international demand. To know more about such business insights, do follow our channel on Instagram, YouTube for regular update.